Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, August 1st, 2016 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am passionately heart-centered. And today we are passionate. We've got some interesting astro. We are in the final day of the lunar cycle. We're building to the new moon tomorrow. That means we're in the dark of the moon. So as we are in the dark of the moon, some of our shadow, some of our fear, some of our darkness, some of what we've clung to bubbles up to be processed. We also have, aiding that process, Mars at the final degree of Scorpio. And Mars in Scorpio tunes us into our passions, it tunes us into our desires, but it also can tune us into those deep-seated fears. And I've got to tell you, I've talked to so many people and fear has been up. People have been processing these old fears like nobody's business. So today may be the day where these energies continue to surface, come up, because tomorrow the moon is going to shift. We're going to have that new moon. We're going to start our next lunar cycle. We're going to set our intentions with it. And we also have Mars shifting into Sagittarius tomorrow. And so Mars was in Sagittarius once already, and then retrograded. We've spent 5+ months with Mars and Scorpio, really honing in on our desires, honing in on our passions, and looking at the places where we've put those fear blocks within us. And so, as this is the last day, be gentle with yourself and this process. That being said, we have some beautiful astro going on supporting us in this process. We begin the day with Venus connecting to Chiron. And this is an inconjunct. So inconjuncts, we're not quite seeing eye to eye. It's not really an opposition. It can be kind of an uncomfortable connection. But what I'm feeling, I'm going to show you my card, where I feel the discomfort is coming from is just from the reluctance to bring in and utilize the energy of the heart, utilize the energy of your love. There is a beautiful company called Heart Math. And in Heart Math, they study the energies of the heart and what the heart does. And the heart has its own gigantic energetic field. The heart has its own nervous system. And something that came up in conversation that I was having with somebody today as we were discussing our vulnerabilities is that the heart itself is stronger than the mind allows it to be, than the mind thinks that it is. Often, it is our mind protecting our heart, and our heart is so strong. Not to say that our heart can't be broken, that we can't have really strong feels in the heart, but I know a lot of times, oh, I feel it in my heart, and it's really just my head creating something. And so this is an opportunity to bring healing in by opening up in your heart to yourself, to your process, to your passions. Stop hoarding the jewel of the lotus, your heart. Stop hoarding what you came to bring forth, which is your divine light, which comes in many ways from your heart. It comes from other parts of you too, but from that heart energy. So that connection is saying healing is available when you can open up your heart to yourself. Just be true to yourself. This isn't even about anybody else. Be real with yourself. What are your desires? What do you long to do? What does your heart want? So that's how we're beginning. The next connection we have is Moon in Cancer, dark of the moon, connecting to Jupiter in Virgo. This is 22 degrees, a master degree. So we start by thinking about what the heart wants, and then we get into this energy. Okay, so to support the heart, we've got to support the physical body. How can you support your physical body in this energy? 22 degrees, master number, but it's also a 4, which is a degree of foundation. Putting in a great foundation. It's also the degree of Uranus, which is that evolution revolution. So you can set a new pathway for yourself just by showing up for yourself, just by showing up for your heart and all the feels that are coming up. Moon is then going to square Uranus, so then we get more of that evolution revolution energy. And you might be like, I'm not really comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable showing up for myself. I'm not comfortable showing my heart. Again, I think the discomfort comes when we worry about everything out there. And this dark of the moon is such an internal process. Uranus is retrograde, so this is, again, reiterating the energy of this being an internal process. Next connection that we have is the Sun connecting to Saturn at 9 degrees, that passion degree. And Saturn is still retrograde in Sagittarius just for a little bit longer, taking us into our beliefs. So Sun in Leo, wants us to show our hearts. But do you believe that your heart is strong enough to shine in the world? Do you believe your heart is beautiful enough to shine in the world? Or do you believe, like our minds, for many of us, have told us that it's not really strong enough, it's not really ready? This isn't a call to necessarily break through, but this is a call to look at this energy and look how you're wanting to show up in the world where you haven't yet. Saturn energy, to me, at its, peak, is showing up in your purpose. And so our heart, our soul knows that purpose. Sometimes the mind may try to talk us out of it, but the heart and soul know exactly where they're going. Then, this is an interesting connection. Moon connecting to Mars, 29 degrees. It's a harmonious connection. It's a trine. They are working together, but this may be when that stuff is really surfacing. Be willing to look at your fears. Fear is not a bad thing. Fear is often a threshold, or it's a warning. Sometimes the fear is like, no, that's not the path for you. This isn't right for you. And sometimes the fear is like, yeah, this is a door, but this is a threshold, and this is something you have to pass through in your life. So really be aware as your fears come up. Where are they really coming from, and what are they really telling you? You've got to bring that awareness in. We're then going to have the moon shift into Leo, bringing us into new moon energy for tomorrow. So the moon in Leo and all of this energy today may be kind of like quiet initially. As we are in the dark of the moon goes void, all of this energy. This is so beautiful for taking it in. Take in your heartfelt energy. Because I got to tell you, I pulled so many cards of transformation and change and rebirth and all that energy, new beginnings. So take it in. Be quiet with yourself as you begin the next cycle. Let yourself release anything which needs to be released before we set intentions with the new moon tomorrow. I'm going to tell you, so you can process this before the new moon, what the Sabian symbol is for the new moon tomorrow, because I love it and I think it's so beautiful. The Sabian symbol, Leo, 10 degrees, is early morning dew sparkles as sunlight floods the field. And basically in the wisdom it says, even tears can be transformed into jewels of light. So if you find yourself crying, if you find yourself emotional, if you find yourself battling the fears, recognize that it's part of the hero's journey. It's part of you on your path to where you want to go. It's part of you about to take aim with Mars moving into Sagittarius for what it is that you desire. So let's dig into these other cards besides the Miser, telling you to let that heart energy out. I've got the Fool. I've got Completion. I've got the Source. There's that light, that inner light in you, and Rebirth. So here we are, starting a new journey. We have completed this lunar cycle, and we've completed this major, almost, tomorrow, this is the completion day, the major Mars retrograde cycle that we've gone through, and we have rebirthed our innocence, the innocence of the heart, the innocence of the source, the divine light within us. Pat yourself on the back and make a commitment to yourself to move forward without hiding your jewels, hiding the jewel of the lotus. And my animal cards literally made me laugh out loud because two of them jumped out. And the first one is Snake, transformation, shedding the old and following the light allows for transformation to occur. And I have to say, it's really interesting about snakes. I've been working with them a lot, and they usually shed their skins in alignment with lunar cycles. So snakes, just like humans, are very in touch with the lunar cycles. And then the other card that jumped out right behind Snake is Butterfly, change. Every stage of life holds significance in shaping who we are meant to become. This energy, which has had us in the fires of transformation, which has had us going through it, feeling the fears, feeling the feels, all this energy, it's been intense for everybody, me included. It is meant to transform us. It is meant to help change us. So don't avoid this energy. Be present with it, and more importantly, be present with yourself and whatever your own process is. So that is it for today. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.